Hi, and welcome to Plimsoll's latest webinar, How to Make Sure You Are Among the Best in Your Industry. Now, in any year, summer and those middle months are the perfect time to take stock of your performance so far. See where you are compared to the plans you set for your business just before Christmas, and start to plan for the rest of the year and the next couple after it. Now, in 2021, taking some time out to assess where you are, assess where you're going, and identify what might be standing in your way, it's never been more important. Change is coming. It's inevitable. The economy is unlocking. We've just had the announcements that you're still going ahead with the unlocking on the 19th. Liquidity continues to push up inflation. Latest measure is up to 2.5, which is the highest for some time. Government support's being removed. And we've all got to try to adapt to whatever normal looks like after what's been a pretty strange 18 months, I think we'd all agree. Now, most people that we speak to at Plimsoll have the same problem, and we hear the same thing over and over again, time and again. I know looking at this sort of thing is important. I know it'll add to the strategic thinking in my business. I appreciate it'll open everyone's eyes to all the threats and opportunities we might face, but I just don't have the time. Now, in the day-to-day, business gets in the way of business, doesn't it? I think we'd all agree with that. I mean, so many leaders spend so much time working in their business. They spend very little time working on it. And as a result, they can often miss opportunities or even, many do follow a path into eventual decline. Now, Plimsoll's reasons for being, the reason we exist, is to help busy people like yourselves reduce the time it takes to assess whole markets, the key players within them, from months to minutes. We make it simple, we make it easy, so that you can maintain your knowledge and insight, even in these strange, busy, uncertain times. Now, everyone here today is probably interested in some of the same key questions and is trying to find the most efficient way to get these strategic answers. The whole point of this webinar is to leave you with some hints and tips on what you need to monitor and what you need to achieve as you strive to join or remain among the best performing companies in your own market. So we broke this down into 4 easy steps. Step 1, get an independent helicopter view of your business and its financial health. Now, business leaders can often be like submarine captains. You're in the thick of it. You're working in the engine room of your business. You're thinking on your feet. You're problem solving on the fly. Now, amid all that grind and toil, there's a danger that some companies fail to spot problems or they miss opportunities to consolidate gains. The productivity problems that we have in the UK can often be linked to leaders chasing one measure, such as growth, but failing to measure whether the growth being achieved is requisite for the investments that they've made. Economic history is littered with examples of companies that have failed to expand their vision and focused on too narrow objectives, such as sales growth or shareholder returns. James Italian, which we've covered in previous webinars, Thomas Cook. They're both examples of companies that chase sales or presence, but didn't pause to assess whether the incessant bums on seat strategy or having the biggest network of agents on the high street was returning enough in terms of profitable sales. Plimsoll subscribers can clearly see how others see their business. They can take a completely objective look at their own company and answer key strategic questions that every leader or stakeholder should be able to, including, are we growing enough proportionate to the capital and the assets that we've employed? Are we generating an adequate profit return? Are we top heavy with staff? And are we productive enough? Is there cash sat on our balance sheet that would be better used elsewhere, especially if inflation takes off over the next few years? What impact has the pandemic had on our business? Are there any dependencies that we need to fix? And what is our overall financial strength? And what is this trend in our financial strength? Are we soaring high? or are we gradually declining without us even realising? Successful companies perform this exercise annually. Plimsoll's own growing customer list is made up of around 60% of companies that have been rated as strong. Now, they use our analysis to maintain their sights on how to maximise their resilience and preparedness. As a customer once said to me, it's critical to know where we could, where we should, and where we must improve. Now, Plimsoll provides the tools you need to make this rather complex exercise a very, very simple one. As the decision maker, you have a proven, non-biased graphical assessment of your business. 9 out of 10 companies, previously failed companies, were rated as danger by Plimsoll 2 years prior to the demise. So if there are weaknesses in your own performance, the Plimsoll model will tease them out so you can adapt and prevent a small issue becoming something much more serious in the future. Step 2, benchmark your performance against the industry KPIs. There's an old joke about 2 cameramen filming lions in Africa, and the beast starts taking interest in them and slowly saunter over. One of the cameramen changes out of his desert boots and he puts some running shoes on, and the other cameraman turns around to him and says, "You'll never outrun a lion in those." To which he replies, "Forget the lion, mate, as long as I outrun you." Now, excuse the awful dad jokes, but the metaphor applies in many industries as we sit here in summer 2021. Whatever the effects of the pandemic throughout the last 18 months, you need to ensure you're in a better position than enough of your competitors to survive and thrive amid the anticipated spike in failures over the next year. Now, as government pandemic support is pared back and the real effects of Brexit become increasingly apparent, you've got to make sure you're ahead of enough of your rivals to still be standing in a couple of years' time. In many industries, you know the industries I'm going to say, but retail, airlines, travel agencies, etc., there have simply been too many companies chasing too little market, even before the pandemic. There needs to be a reduction in the competitive pressure across many markets. But again, you need to ensure that you're ahead of the rest to reap the rewards when there are inevitable failures. Now, Plimsoll allows its clients to instantly compare their performance against the rest and answer the key question: who am I beating and who's beating me? So if you followed step 1 closely enough, using Plimsoll, you'll have a clear view of your business. You know where you stand and how you perform. The next step is to put that into context. Now, the things that you need to look at are whether you're in the top percentile on all your major KPIs such as profit, growth, debt, productivity, and so on. Where you're being outperformed and by whom. Identify the KPIs where you've fallen under or behind the industry average. Identify areas where you've made gains in the last 5 years. And identify where you need to focus your improvement plans over the next year or 2. Now, fresh financial data is becoming available throughout the year and increasingly reflects the impact of COVID-19 and, in some industries, Brexit, obviously. While year ends are clustered around a couple of points throughout the year, the 9-month filing window means more up-to-date intelligence is becoming available all the time. Plimsoll allows its clients to ensure their own annual performance appraisal is kept in context throughout the year so that you can continuously adjust your strategy and know what steps you need to take to join the elite in your market. Your progress can then be validated each year when your own year-end accounts are filed, and it becomes a simple process. So joining the top echelon of performance in any industry it's a continuous journey, and Plimsoll can remove the surprises from your planning and your insight processes. Step 3, understand your competition better to see the threats and opportunities early. You can't shape your own company by looking at other people's. Let's be clear on that. You've got your own culture, your own DNA. What you can do, though, is assess the threats, search for the opportunities, and plan for what everyone else classes as the unexpected. You've taken step one, you've taken step two. So you know your own business better. You understand its strengths and weaknesses. You understand how those performance measures compare to the industry norms. But what about the individual rivals within the market? The best and strongest companies in any market appreciate that no company exists in a vacuum. You're all part of a wider ecosystem, whatever you sell or whatever services you offer. You often compete for the same customers, compete for the same new business. In many industries, you're all subject to the same regulations and laws. Now, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of other businesses that operate in your sphere is a key strategic weapon in the fight to join the best in any market. A business leader should be able to instantly recite, who are the best in your market? What can you learn from them? What do they do better than you? And what do you need to change to emulate them? Which companies are achieving the most growth in your market? Spot them quickly and spend the time saved from having to research who they are to find out what they do differently to you. The companies that makes the most profit. Who are the cash generators in your market? And what has led them to outperform the rest? Spot the troubled rivals. Unfortunately, it's a sad fact that many companies have been left in dire need in 2021. Now, whether it's through acquisition or their ultimate failure freeing up market share, there are opportunities for those of you that are left to capitalise. Be alert to the disruptors. Who are the companies that are disrupting the market, capturing the market share from rivals? And what can you do to protect your own moat, protect your own business and its unique benefits that it offers to customers? And finally, pick the companies with the most acquisition potential. After COVID-19, there's a record number of companies with a big difference between their current and future value. With so much money still sloshing around the market, it's fairly likely that we will see consolidation across all markets. Plimsoll subscribers have the advantage over their rivals in that they can extract that type of in-depth competitor intelligence in minutes, share it with other stakeholders easily, and then react accordingly. With a 5-year study of every company in any market, Plimsoll helps business leaders to shortcut the process and present usable competitor intelligence almost instantly. Step 4, prime your strategy to capitalise. So by step 4, you should have all 3 major sets of intelligence in place to start developing a strategy to capitalise. You have an independent insight in your business, its position, and the threats and opportunities it faces. Now you need to decide how to use that to propel your business into the league of top performers. Or if you're already there, protect your position. Deciding what type of business you want to be should be the main driver of your strategy. Other company strategies should not influence your decision. You should be able to look at the previous 3 steps in the process and build a sensible strategy that achieves those aims. As a business leader, you need to be in a position to decide, do you have dependencies in your business, such as too narrow a market or audience? And what market should you be looking to expand into to negate those issues, to minimise them? Do you buy a competitor and cement your place in the market and eliminate a threat at the same time? Secondary to that, do you buy a distressed competitor in need of recapitalisation, or do you pay a premium for a more stable, high growth, off the peg option? Do you need to secure your supply chain in the face of new legislation and trading norms, particularly post-Brexit? Again, could you use acquisition to broaden your group, bring key elements in-house and protect your capacity? And who are the best options to achieve this? Where are they? Which markets, etc.? Do you need to focus on profit, growth, productivity, or all 3? What would add the most value to your business and improve its position? What challenges are there to that strategy? And if you are focused on growth, where are the pockets within your key markets? And what are the best means to tap them? And what industries outside of your core competencies could you pivot towards in the future? Now, Plimsoll ensures that decision makers are spending more of their precious time on developing and executing their strategic vision rather than pulling together the intelligence to even make a start. We can put all of the options and insight you need to make better decisions instantly. Assessing one company over 5 years involves reams and reams of paper and hours of it. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it's complicated. We can pull hundreds, even thousands of companies together and put the best intelligence possible in your hands. Whatever the conditions in your market, whatever the external factors affecting them, following this tried and tested process will ensure you build a better, more easily executable strategy than relying on instinct and guesswork. We take all of the work and stress and opportunity cost out of the process, leaving you as business decision makers free to drive your companies in the right direction. In summary, joining the top performers in any market requires a thorough understanding of 4 key principles. An independent, honest view of how you are performing currently to set your starting point for planning your strategy. An objective comparison of your performance against others in your market. An understanding of who you are beating, who is beating you, and what you need to emulate to join those considered the best in your market. And finally, an actionable strategy based on the 3 previous steps. So if you'd like to see how Plimsoll can help you improve on all 4 steps in your own journey, why not have a look at our new analytical platform? We're offering a free trial of our new platform and a 20-minute demo consultation with our team to anybody that's interested. To register your interest, please click on the link below and fill in your details, and we'll contact you to arrange a time that works for you. So thank you for attending this webinar. I hope you found it very useful. And until next time, the best of luck to you all. And I hope the end of lockdown restrictions brings a lot of business success to you all. Thank you.